If you've been dealing with somebody for 5 years and y'all ain't never seen each other, girl, if you don't move on. Am I the a-hole for cutting off my friend because of her toxic situation? I, 22 female, had a friend, we'll call her L, female 30. L has been in a situationship. I say situationship because she says they've never been official, but have been talking on and off with a guy for over 5 years, long distance, on and off. Me and L just became friends and started growing close back in April. At at first things were, I need to zoom this in, baby. Yeah, let me zoom this in. That's better. At first, her and her situationship were off and were as such when we first met and became friends. However, one drunken night, they ended up calling each other and fixing things, and she had texted me to tell me about it. I was happy for her and wished them the best. I reach out and receive short, dry responses and will only get her full attention when they were having problems and when she needed to vent. They were fighting and when she wanted to talk about him. When her responses first went dry, I would check in with her to see if she was okay because I know when I'm not okay, I get distant and quiet. In response, I get, yeah, on the phone with my baby. She'll call me to talk about her issues with him and play it off like she's checking on me, like a fake, hey, how are you? They go into her issues with him. She texts mainly about him venting about their problem. Any other topic or conversation was either a conversation started by me or a convo that took place because she wasn't going along with him and needed a distraction. Sure, otherwise I'll reach out to her every few days. I figure she wants space and time with him, so I still made sure to check in on her every now and then. I know friends don't need to talk every single day, but even when it's every few days, I was the only one reaching out unless something happened between them. It was exhausting and something I wouldn't put up with, in my opinion, especially since before she started talking to him again. She was always down to hang out and text, reaching out first and initiate a conversation about something other than him. Now all of a sudden she only reaches out in regards to him or in need of a distraction because she's sad because of him or is mad at him. I wanted to bring up to her how I felt in terms of her treating me like the problem friend or only reaching out to talk about him and complaining about the same shit, but then continuously going back to him. But considering she had been on and off with him for years, I thought it'll do no good, especially since according to her, they've never met in real life throughout the years and she's still dealing with him. Well, after reading this, I don't think she's the a-hole. So her friend is the type of friend when she's in a relationship, she cut off her friends. That's the type of friend that she is. And when they're going through problems, she want you to be that ear. No, she's not the a-hole for cutting her off. But let's continue. Because if she's been at it with him like this for this long, me saying something wouldn't make a difference. That's true. And I know it wouldn't because one night she had called me upset with him, telling me about how he pissed her off and that she was done with him. The next day, she told me that they had worked it out. Another time, she told me that he had bragged to her about cheating on his ex with more than one girl and would complain about how he flirts with girls, and yet she still choose to keep dealing with him. So I knew she wasn't going anywhere, even if I expressed my feelings. I had no idea how long they've been on and off until she told me one night. Had I known this from the jump, it would have made more sense. The few times I did try giving advice, she was in defense of him and wasn't willing to pick up what I was trying to put down. Okay, so it seems she's the type of person, um she wants to complain about the person she with, but she does not want like advice. And that's okay. That's okay. For a person that just want your ear and don't want advice. That's okay. However, don't keep coming dumping stuff on me because that can be draining. Especially that's the only time you're really consistent with me, and the only time you want to talk to me is when you want to vent about this person. If that's the only time you're talking to me or attentive towards me, is when you want to bring that person up. That's not good. Oh, we stop hanging out, we stop talking because that person is in your ear and they're not even near you. Y'all haven't even met in real life. So y'all holding the phone all day and you don't have time to hang out with your supposed to be friend. The few times I did try giving advice, she was in defense of him and wasn't willing to pick and wasn't trying to pick up what I was trying to put down. So I distanced myself. Dealing with someone and being in a friendship where the person won't help themselves and complains about the same things is draining. Not to mention, when I did distance myself, I didn't hear from her at all. I eventually started checking in on her again, and it was still the same vibe. So I completely stopped trying. I know I could have told her how I felt, how I thought it was messed up, that she seemingly only put effort into our friendship when it's beneficial to her, and how I was tired of hearing about the same complaints and problems. But like I said, she's been dealing with him for a long time. And I'm sure I'm not the first friend she's had that has gone through this. So me saying something I felt wouldn't do anything. And it wouldn't do anything. Not just for that, but I don't want a friendship where the problems are only listened to because someone has their persons blocked. They're not getting along, so they're just trying to pass time. That was the only time I could genuinely talk about what's going on in my life without getting stuck listening to why he's toxic and how she's done with him. was when he was blocked. And considering I always listen to her problems with him, the least I could get is the same energy. And it shows me that I was the only one putting effort, in my opinion. I get that simply growing distant without giving insight on your feelings and perspective can be seen as a lack of communication and can lead to a misunderstanding. However, considering her dealing with him for this long and saying he's done and saying she's done 1 minute and then going back the next, I feel like it would have blown up anyway because of how she is when it comes to him. The way she is defensive alone. When she had vented about him once, I tried giving advice, gave me a glimpse of the outcome if I spoke on how I felt, how he's toxic for the way he treats her, yet she continues to deal with it. I know she would have cut me off. She sees no wrong in him. Well, evidently she does see wrong. She just don't want nobody else to speak on it. But eventually I'm going to say something. Because if you just keep coming to me about the same person, about the same problem, what you going to do about it? She sees no wrong in him, and when she does, it's temporary. I can only do so much, and I can only do so much. I can listen and give advice, but I can't change her situation and suddenly rid him of his toxicity. And hearing about the same thing over and over with zero effect, being put into the change of the situation is draining and gets irritating. I also felt like I couldn't speak on my own relationship because I didn't want to make her upset. I'm in a healthy relationship and my boyfriend is so good and sweet to me, and telling her simple things like I'm out to eat with my man or I'm planning a picnic for me and him. I feel like I would have upset her because how toxic her situation is, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to one up her. No, I see, and that's an issue too. Now I can see about being considerate of people's feelings, but if your friend can't be happy for you because what they're dealing with, what they're deciding to deal with, that's a problem. That's not a friend. You just was an ear for her to talk off. That's all you was. You just was a venting space for her. You was her friend, but she wasn't your friend. Because I don't care what I'm going through. If somebody tells me something that they're doing is something that makes them happy, I'm going to be happy for them. If somebody's doing something that I failed at and they were successful at it, I'm going to be happy for them, and I'm going to ask them for some advice. So yeah, that wasn't your friend. You was her friend though. Or she was with him again. I was able to share little things with her like that. But once things came into play as far as their issues, I was hesitant to even share little things like that because I didn't want her to feel like I was just missing her problem and rubbing it in her face. Before they talked that night, they were drunk. Me and her friendship thrived. We talked about any and everything. It was a vibe. As soon as they were on again, I feel like the dynamic of our friendship changed. It was like either about him or nothing. And I only saw the L I first became friends with when she was mad at him and blocked him. Some think you're supposed to stay by your friend's side and help them no matter no matter how many times they complain about the same things in the same person. And I feel like I may be the a-hole because they've been going on longer than we've been friends. So are my feelings even reasonable? And is it wrong to have her value our friendship more than dumping her problems and distractions from them? Am I the a-hole for giving up our friendship? No, you are not the a-hole. And I'm doing my editing, so I'm just, you're 22, she's 30. She should know better. She should know better. Nothing wrong with having friendships with somebody that's, way younger than you. But this girl just got out of her teenage years. OP, you are not the a-hole. Protect your energy at all costs. I don't care, friend, family, awful. Protect your energy. You did the right thing. This 30-year-old woman tried to pin her problems on you. A baby. Girl, I'm so glad you ended that friendship. Don't even look back. You hear me? Don't look back. Because she too grown for that. And if you've been dealing with somebody for 5 years and y'all ain't never seen each other, girl, if you don't move on,